Hey guys, Mr. Jalapeno here with another little DIY. And on today's project, I'm going to show you how to replace this damaged baseboard and casing. This is a very common issue and you probably already know who it's done by. Yup, you guessed it. This little guy's probably saying, hey, what are you doing in my area there? He's a really sweet dog, but he does look a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie. But anyways, first thing I did here was remove the gate. And now I'm just going to use my utility blade to cut that glue on that miter. Go ahead and cut the caulking on top of the baseboard, that way it's going to be easier to remove. And it also helps not damage the wall too much when removing the baseboard. Do the same thing on the casing, and you're probably wondering why I'm not using Bondo to repair this. And the main reason is I don't want the dog eating the Bondo in case he does it again. So I always recommend to just replace the pieces rather than just patch them up, especially if the dog's going to do it again like I mentioned. That way it's just going to be safer rather than him eating all the chemicals in the Bondo. So after you measure everything, just go ahead and cut your trim pieces. You'll probably need a miter saw if you have to cut any angles. Don't forget to add a little bit of glue to the miter cut, and then use your brad nailer to nail the pieces to the wall. And if you do end up damaging the wall from removing the baseboard, no biggie, just get a little bit of Easy Sand 5, add a little bit of water, and then mix it up to where it's like sour cream consistency, if that makes any sense. Luckily these walls are semi-smooth, they still have a little bit of texture, it's called pull trowel, but for the most part they're pretty smooth. I ended up doing 2 thin coats of that Easy Sand 5, and then after that I used a little bit of painter's putty to fill in all the holes from the brad nailer. I'm also caulking the gap between the jamb and the casing. Don't forget to also caulk the gap where the baseboard meets the wall. I always recommend to have a wet rag on you, that way you can remove the excess caulking and you're not going to make a mess. Look at that. And if you have the time, just let everything dry for a couple hours. But most people don't like paying me to see stuff dry, so I kind of use my heat gun to speed everything up. Sand anything that needs to be sanded, and then go ahead and paint. I'm using a foam roller to paint the trim, that way I don't have any brush marks. And on the walls, I'm just going to use this regular nap roller. Super simple, just don't forget to apply any primer if you need to. The paint I was using is a primer in one, so I just ended up doing 2 coats of that paint. Just make sure that first coat of paint dries really good before you start applying the second coat. Let me know in the comments if I could have done something different. I'm always willing to learn. And if you like any of the tools or materials that I use here in this video, just go to my Amazon storefront and you can get them all there. They are affiliate links, so it's a good way to help support the channel at no extra cost to you. But anyways, once everything's dry, I went ahead and put that gate up, and that's it. Jalapeno Solutions. Boom!